Welcome back to another Pokemon Throwback Thursday, home of the OG weekly market updates. Every Thursday, we take a deep dive into a vintage set. We're going in complete order. So the set we're checking out today is XY Roaring Skies. We're doing a new thing where every week we highlight one or two Pokemon and we look at their greatest cards in Pokemon history. I haven't made a playlist for this if you guys want to go check that out and see what Pokemon we've already covered. And for today's video, we're doing one of the biggest debates in Pokemon history, Groudon versus Kyogre. I'm a Kyogre fan myself. Let me know down below which one you guys like better. But we'll be checking the best Groudon and Kyogre cards for today's video. And before we get started, we do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is Collectr. This app is the best of the best when it comes to tracking your collection. I have tried every other app and they don't even compare. They have maybe like a tenth of what Collectr actually has. And they have over 25 different TCGs too. So in case you're not a Pokemon fan or something, you got so many other options. And then too, they're always trying to improve and add new features, boxes and cards. So let us know down below if there's anything they need to work on or add. But yeah, I think they just added the new feature where you can like track your realized gains versus your unrealized gains. So they're always trying to improve. They also do more giveaways than anyone in this entire hobby. So definitely check them out. I'll have all the links in the description. And also, if you're trying to grade with PSA through your first time, click my link in the description and use the code BEARD25 at checkout. And you receive $25 off your very first PSA submission. But all right, let's get into it. We got Roaring Skies, came out May 6, 2015. I actually opened up a ton of this stuff when it originally came out. Now, these are the cards that I really like too. These are basically the first ever illustration rares in my opinion. They do come in reverse holos. They're a little more expensive, but they're still very affordable. I mean, we got the Articuno there. We got the Banette, Togekiss, Dragonite. I mean, check out that Dragonite. That is sick. But there's a lot of cool Dragon Pokemon in here. We got Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonite, Altaria, Bagon, Shelgon, Salamence, Latios, Rayquaza, Hydreigon. I mean, a lot of cool Pokemon for sure. But we basically just got full arts for this set. And then, we got two Mega cards that have texture, the Latios and Rayquaza. And then we got two gold trainers, which if you guys have not seen these gold trainers in person, they're pretty nice. Like, the gold really pops. Yeah, we got Thundurus, Gallade, Mega Gallade, Latios, Mega Latios, Hydreigon, Rayquaza, Mega Rayquaza, Shaman, Wally, Winona, Energy Switch, and Versus Seeker. And these are the most expensive cards. Of course, the Mega Rayquaza is the top dog for the set, followed by the Full Art Rayquaza EX, then the Mega Latios EX, and then the non-textured Mega Rayquaza. And this is a set that has the Mega Rayquaza that got the reprint in Celebrations. We actually just went over a ton of these cards in one of our last Throwback Thursdays because we covered Rayquaza. And we're going to hop to eBay and check out some recently sold listings. So I just clicked Near Mint. So we got the Full Art Rayquaza EX at $100. Some of these Full Arts, like I said, are so cheap. I mean, look at that Togekiss, $284. We got the Mega Rayquaza. This is the one the Celebrations was reprinted from at $70, $67. The basic Rayquaza EX is at $15. That Articuno is at $2. What else? The other Mega Rayquaza. This might be my favorite one in the set, actually. This is number 61 out of 108, $40. I just love the art on it. I think it looks super mean. The Mega Gallade, this is textured, $33 with $5 in shipping in near mint condition. So these cards are honestly very affordable. We got the Full Art Latios EX for $22. It says near mint, but I can see whitening from here. We got the big boy, the Mega Rayquaza EX. This is the textured one, lightly played, $401. So that's where the majority of all the value comes from this set. We got a Natu, really cool. You can't tell me that's not an illustration rare. Those are beautiful. We got another Mega Rayquaza. This is the textured one again. In a PSA 8, sold for $470. Dustox, illustration rare at $738. I'm just going to call them illustration rares. I don't care. Super cool Meowth card too. Like the art on that. And what else we got? Like I said, there's really not a ton in this set. There is a Spirit Link, which is pretty sweet. And we got Wally Full Art at $12. Thundurus at $6. Dragonite at $325. The actual Dragonite, though, where is it? This card right here is getting a little expensive. It's kind of tough to find, under $15 now, but still very affordable. All right, let's get into it. We got the Mega Rayquaza EX. This is the one that Celebrations was printed from. So just last month sold for $1,875 in a 10. Next, we have my favorite Mega Rayquaza in the set. This is number 61. Sold for $2,601 in a 10. Next, we have the big boy Mega Rayquaza EX, sold for $8,500. That was a couple months ago, so there might be a newer sale. I just couldn't find one. Next, we have the Full Art Rayquaza EX, sold for $7,200 last month. Next, we got the Mega Latios EX, sold for $23.55. Next, we got the Roaring Sky Sleeve Booster Pack. A lot of these Sleeve Booster Packs are still pretty affordable. If you guys do want to go pick up some cooler, older packs, maybe you guys really like the art. So in my opinion, if you guys are collecting a certain Pokemon, like if you guys are collecting Rayquaza, I think you got to get a couple sealed products with him on there. You know, getting an XY Roaring Skies, sleeve booster would be a cool little addition to that collection. And last sold 67, 59, 80, 65, 70, so not ridiculously terrible. Next, we have the Roaring Skies Elite Trainer Box. One of the best ETBs we have ever gotten in Pokemon history. It is so cool. I wish I had a bunch more of these, but I think I only have like 2 of them. Last sold, which was towards the end of August, $3,900. Before that, $3,250, $3,250. Getting expensive. Next, we have the Roaring Skies Booster Box. So last sold, which was not too long ago, $3,300, and before that, $38,000. So the ETB is almost worth the exact same amount as the booster box. But all right, let's get into it. We got Groudon up first. So I was actually pretty upset. Groudon and Kyogre have gotten absolutely no love in the Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet era, besides Groudon's one beautiful illustration rare. I mean, just look at that. That's all they got. And then, we got our Celebrations reprint from the Team Magma's Groudon. And then there is a Groudon Master Ball and Pokeball. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. But yeah, just the Groudon illustration rare, which is such a nice illustration rare. All right, let's get into it. So I'm basically going to go from newest to oldest, kind of. So in my opinion, this might be the best Groudon card we have ever gotten. It's very close between this and the illustration rare. Art-wise, there's some super nice vintage ones, but the vintage cards, art-wise, it's tough to compete with these newer cards. So let me know down below, do you guys like this Groudon better or the Groudon illustration rare better? I'll go back and forth here a couple times so you guys can see. Man, it's tough. I feel like this Groudon is clean. I just love when they throw a bunch of other Pokemon in there, even though these aren't the most popular Pokemon. But, man, that's a tough one. That is a tough one for sure. So, last sold on this Groudon. These sales are kind of old. We got a newer one. PSA 10, which was about 5 months ago. These have very low pops. Was $11,950. And we got a 9 at $2,400, an 8 at $700. This card was pretty affordable, I'd say maybe a year ago. I think we were picking these up for less than $100. Next, we have my favorite of all of the Mega Pokemon, the Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, and the Mega Rayquaza. Those 3 all come from Ancient Origins. I think they're the best. So pop on this is 662, 559 in a 9. It's 364 in an 8. Last sold raw, 215, 117, 265, 290, 225, 170. PSA 9 at $771. We did have a recent 10 down here at $3,150. Next, we have the other Primal Groudon. This card is not as cool. It doesn't have all that gold on it. Only 15 of them in a 10. Last sold raw, 75, 105, 90, 140, 187. And we got a PSA 10 sale, which was about 5 months ago at $5,000. Next, we have the Primal Groudon EX. It's a basic EX, but it's still pretty cool. Pop of only 69 in the 10. Last sold raw, 25, 39, 20, 25, 30. And then we got a PSA 10 at $810, which was in August. The month before, it sold for $1,500. So that's kind of crazy. It's kind of weird, though, because it's named the exact same as the sale before, which sold for $950. So, very strange. Next, we have another basic Groudon EX, but this is from Dark Explorers. Last sold raw, 15, 20, 25, 30. PSA 10 at 520 and 420. But what's crazy is these are the first 2 Pokemon that I've done for this series where they only had 1 page of cards. Like if you type in Groudon on Pokédata, it's just 1 page. Every other Pokemon I've done so far has had multiple pages. So kind of disappointing. I feel like these are some pretty popular Pokemon and I think they deserve a little bit more love. Next, we have the full art Groudon EX from Dark Explorers, which I did see some leaks, and I think we are getting like a Ruby and Sapphire set coming soon. So last sold for this card, raw, 190, 139, 170, 394, 690. We got a PSA 9 at $2,500, and another 9 at $2,000, and another 8 at $910. And we got a 10 sale here a couple months ago at $12,000. Right, next, we got another full art. Let me know down below which one you guys like better. The Dark Explorers full art with like the gray stone background, or the Groudon EX full art from Primal Clash, where you got this nice yellow background with all the rocks and stuff. Last sold for this one, 48, 35, 60, PSA 9 at 355, and we got a 10 at $7,700. Next, we have some of the greatest cards in Pokemon history, the Legend cards. So there is a Kyogre and Groudon card. The bottom half is Groudon. Last sold raw 80, 102, 125, 74, PSA 9 at 600. I really feel like these are some of the most underrated cards in Pokemon history. And I could not find any recent PSA 10 sales for Groudon, but I did find one for Kyogre, and it was a few months ago at $5,000. Next, we have the Call of Legends Groudon. This is a shiny card. If you guys do not know about Call of Legends and you guys like shinies, you have to check out this set. You can literally just type in Pokemon SL on eBay or anything like that, and it'll show you all the different shinies. So that's how you can tell. It's got the SL at the bottom, and it's just all legendaries. It's actually a super stacked set. But last sold raw for this, 195, 198, 225. We got a PSA 9 at 1,048. 1,200, and we have a 10 at $9,600. That's sold at the end of July. Love this set. Next, we have the Groudon Holo. This is from EX Hidden Legends. This is a secret rare card. Super, super cool card. 102 out of 101. I have a few of these. Not super minty, probably more lightly played. There's 109 in 10, 222 in a 9, 160 in an 8, and last sold in a 9, 130. We got raw at 80, 80, 59, 36, 79. We got a PSA 10 at $1,000. Next, we have the Groudon from EX Emerald. This is the beautiful reverse holo with the stamp you guys know I'm obsessed with. Last sold raw 78, 29, 32. We got a PSA 10 at 910, but it doesn't give me any info. And then we got a 9 at 187, 139, 125. Super cool card. Next, we have the original Team Magma's Groudon, so this is what they reprinted for Celebrations. Last sold in an 8, 43. We got raw at $10. These prices are all over the place. Another raw at 10. I feel like they're going to be mixing up a lot of these cards with the Celebrations card. And then we do have a PSA 10 sale here at $1,800, so. Next, the Groudon EX. So we got a few EXs coming up. I want you guys to let me know which one is your favorite. Because when I was setting this up, I was trying to decide on like which one was my favorite for all these, you know, like the best full art, the best EX. So this one is sick. It's a little hard to read, but if you see it in person, it reads a little better. But I just love how dark this one is. Last sold raw, 110 for lightly played, 125 for moderately played, near mint at 232, PSA 9 at 475, and we got a 10 at 1,849. Only 129 of these in a 10. Next, we have another EX, Groudon EX from EX Crystal Guardians. Pop of only 50 in a 10. Last sold raw 50, 85, 68, 90, 90. We got a PSA 9 at 700. And we got a 10 at $5,500. Next, we have the Groudon EX. This is a Black Star promo. In my opinion, this is the best EX out of all of these. We do have one more to look at still. But this has a pop of 36 and a 10. Last sold raw 75, 120, 96, 43, PSA 9 at 999. And then we got a PSA 10 sale here, which was about 5 months ago at $2,300. Next, we have the Groudon EX number 2 Black Star promo. I want to say this is the first English printed Groudon card. Not 100% sure, just going off of memory of when it came out. But this card is sick. I think there is a non-holo also, yeah. So last sold in a PSA 10 for the non-holo is $250. But I think for the holo, last sold is $1,905. And then here's a close-up picture so you guys can actually see it a little better. It's pretty sweet. So yeah, let me know down below which one do you guys like better. This EX, Here, I'll get them all set up for us. All right, so we got the Groudon EX number 2 Black Star promo. Then we have the other Black Star promo, which I like a lot more. Then we have the Groudon EX from Crystal Guardians. And then we have the Groudon EX from Hidden Legends. So let me know down below which one is your favorite. Now for the king of Groudon cards, the Groudon Gold Star from EX Delta Species. Has a pop of 73 and a 10, 262 and a 9, 216 and an 8. Mine would probably grade a 6 probably. Last sold raw, 820, 970. PSA 9 at $4,119. Raw at 640. PSA 9 at $5,044. We got a 10 at $14,722. Wow. So yeah, very expensive card. This is a shiny Groudon. If you guys do not know about gold stars, you see that little gold star at the top. Very, very rare, very tough to pull. Next, I think this is the only Japanese exclusive that I can find. I think it's from PokePark promo opening. So pretty cool card and honestly very affordable. Last sold raw 16, 10, 30. We got a PSA 10 at 300 and before that it says 160. But if there is any more Japanese exclusives or anything that I did miss, please let me know down below. Or like any cameos, you know, with Groudon or Kyogre in the background. I love that stuff. Next, we have Kyogre. So yeah, Kyogre did not get a lot of love. We have one amazing rare, which is pretty cool. And then we do have a pre-release staff card from Celestial Storm from the Sun and Moon era, which is also really cool. There is just the regular pre-release one also. But yeah, not a lot of love, to be honest. All right, let's get into it. We got the Kyogre from Double Crisis. So this goes with the Groudon. Such an awesome card. And since Kyogre has not got a modern illustration rare or special illustration rare, this is the best Kyogre card in my opinion. I can't think of one card that can really beat it besides maybe like the Gold Star card or something like that. But again, if we're talking purely art, this destroys it. So there's only 11 of these in a 10. Last sold raw 200, 395, 393, 240. We got no PSA 9s on here. Wow. And I could not find a PSA 10 sale for this, but we do have 1/9 at $2,550. Next, we have the shiny full art Primal Kyogre from Ancient Origins. It's a pop of 447 and a 10. Last sold raw 270, 280, 178, 290. And we got a PSA 9 at 420. And we have 110 at $4,300. Next, we have the full art Primal Kyogre from Primal Clash. I love the pink on this one. Only 11 of these in a 10. Last sold raw 125, 100, 250. We got a PSA 9 down here at 710. And we do have a PSA 10 sale at $5,100 in June. Next, we have another Primal Kyogre from X5 Primal Clash. This is just more of a basic one. With a pop of 49 and a 10. Last sold raw 30, 35, 43, 28. We got a 9 at 150 and a 10 at $1,050. It sold for $890 before that. Next, got a couple full arts. So we got 2 full arts, I think. Let me know down below which full art you like better. So we have the full art Kyogre from Dark Explorer. Only 9 of these in a 10. Last sold raw $499, $550, $300 for just a full art. $447, $270. Another 9 here at $1,575. Do we have any PSA 10 sales on here? I doubt it. This card never, ever pops up in a 10. Yeah, I'm not seeing any 10 sales. Next, we have the other full art Kyogre from Primal Clash. So let me know which one you like better. This one was actually pretty tough. I struggled with this one, but I think I like the Dark Explorer one better. It just seems like a nicer Kyogre. But yeah, the other full art Kyogre from Primal Clash. Last sold raw 50, 75, 80, 99, 56, 70. We got a PSA 9 at 650. And then we got a PSA 10 sale at $3,000. Next, we have the top of the Kyogre and Groudon Legend card. And last sold raw 90, 70, 100. So the cards are very affordable. You can pretty much get any Legend card around $100, which is a mid-tier alternate art or, you know, a pretty nice special illustration rare nowadays. And then PSA 10, again, $5,000. Next, we have the Kyogre EX Basic from Dark Explorers. Last sold raw 20, 16, PSA 10 at 560. All right, next we got some reverse holos with this beautiful stamp, EX Emerald. Last sold raw 30, PSA 9 at 231, 150, 155. We got a 10 at $810. Next, we have another stamped one. I am obsessed with this one, also from EX Emerald. Last sold raw 89.60, PSA 9 at 399, another 9 at 502. I just never see this card in person. It looks like we do have a PSA 10 sale at $699, which I feel like is pretty cheap, to be honest. Next, we have the Kyogre Reverse Holo from Legends Awaken. I just really, really like this art. That's why I added it. But yeah, it's super cheap. It's like a $5 to $15 card. You can get PSA 9s all day for like 50, 60 bucks. Next, we have the Team Aqua's Kyogre. I was really hoping they'd reprint this card also for celebrations, but they did not. They just gave Groudon the love. So this card's very cheap. It's probably a $15, $20 card raw if you want it pretty nice. And we do have a PSA 10 sale here at $1,581 now. That actually just happened about 10 days ago. Next, Call of Legends. Like I was talking about before, one of my favorite sets. Now, this is going to be a hot take, but I think this art of this shiny Kyogre destroys the Gold Star Kyogre art. I'm just going to say it. Let me know down below what you guys think. I might get some hate for that. But last sold for this card, raw 150, 226, 199, 183, 325. We got a PSA 9 at 1,125 and 1,450. And we do have a PSA 10 sale here at $1,338, but that was literally in 2024. It is definitely worth way more than that now. I could have swore I heard of a sale happening at like $4 grand or $5 grand, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, I love that card. Next, we got a couple EXs. So this is the Black Star promo. Goes with the Groudon one. Super nice card. Only 18 of them in a 10. Last sold raw 39, 27, 50. PSA 9 at 638. That's not correct. And I could not find a PSA 10 sale for this card at all. Next, we have the Kyogre EX from Crystal Guardians. Only 70 in a 10. Last sold raw 41, 110, 50, 120, 130. And we got a PSA 9 at 225. Another 9 at 400, 335. And I also cannot find any PSA 10 sales for this card either, just because the pop is so low. They don't happen very often. It does say we had one up here at 1,050. Next, we have the Hidden Legends Kyogre EX. Same thing. Let me know down below which EX you guys like better. We have one more we have to check out. 134 in the 10 for this one. Last sold raw 112, 90, 70. PSA 9 at 400. And then we got a PSA 10 here at 1,726 towards the end of August. And here's the last EX. Again, I think this is the first Kyogre card, if I'm not mistaken. I think maybe about 10, 12 years ago, I started a collection where I wanted to get the first card ever printed in English of every single legendary Pokemon in a PSA 10. I got about halfway done, but I remember getting the Kyogre and Groudon, and I think these were it. But last sold 15, 29. So there's probably a non-holo also. 20, 157 for a PSA 9. Another 9 at 75. And then we got a PSA 10 sale here. This is for the holo at $1,499. And I think I did see one newer sale at maybe $2-3 grand. I cannot remember, but again, I could not find it on any of these websites. But yeah, let me know down below which EX you guys like better. We got the OG EX, we got the EX from Hidden Legends, the EX from Crystal Guardians, or the EX from the Black Star promo. I think I have to go with the OG on this one. I think this has the cleanest art. I know it's a blurry picture, but I think that's my favorite. All right, next, the Gold Star Kyogre. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I do think the Call of Legends Kyogre looks better than the Gold Star Kyogre. Check that out. Let me know what you guys think down below. I just think it's just a cleaner art. I feel like this art's a little goofy, like he's almost standing up. It's still a crazy card. Last sold in a PSA 10, which was about 4 or 5 months ago now, so there might be a newer sale. Again, I feel like these websites are slacking for some of these big cards. $6,200 in a 10. And then we got ungraded at about 1,000, grade 7 at little over grand, grade 8, 3K, grade 9, 39, 52. But yeah, this is the king of the Kyogre cards. Next, we got a couple little Japanese cards. I kind of like these. I have a few of them. The Top Sun Advanced Generations, Kyogre and Groudon. Just kind of cool. Just thought I'd throw that in there. And next, we're going to be checking out some sealed products. So Kyogre and Groudon both have a couple tins. Nothing super crazy, to be honest. I didn't even have the Groudon ones, but yeah, just a couple basic tins. But they do have a couple really cool vintage theme decks. The Team Aqua Kyogre deck, they're asking $369. The Groudon $369. If you guys do want to get into some sealed vintage stuff, a lot of the vintage decks are dirt cheap. You can get a lot of the OG theme decks in mint condition for like $100 to $200. But these are really cool. I didn't really do too many of these theme decks growing up. I kind of just did the OG ones because I kind of knew what I was doing when these were coming out already, to where I wasn't really buying theme decks. I was building my own deck. Next, we have the Double Crisis Blister Pack. If you guys did not know, super cool. This is the only way you guys can even get Double Crisis packs. There is 4 of them in there. And this is the set that has that really cool Groudon and Kyogre Team Aqua and Team Magma cards, which are basically their best cards in Pokemon history. Very expensive though. Last sold $1,378. That was on auction. Next, we have the Primal Kyogre Hoenn Collection Box. Pretty cool. Got the Primal Kyogre and Groudon on there. That's a Phantom Forces pack in there. Comes with a Jumbo Primal Groudon card and some pretty nice promos. Last sold for this $375. That was in July. And then we also have the Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon collection boxes. Super cool. Like the promos. I like the little figures and stuff. And 4 packs with them being, you know, the Groudon and Kyogre packs is pretty sick. Last sold for the Groudon one $628. Wow, that is getting expensive. These were pretty cheap for a long time. Next, we have the XY Primal Clash ETB. This is the Groudon one. There is a blue Kyogre one, so there is 2. Last sold for the Kyogre 4K. Groudon at 4,500. We got the Kyogre at 3,100. Kyogre at 5K. And then here's the Kyogre box so you guys can see it. But yeah, I've definitely been a way bigger Kyogre fan over Groudon, but I also did pick Sapphire growing up, so that plays a massive part in all of this. And last on the list, we have the Primal Clash booster box. So this has Groudon in the front, Kyogre on the top. Last sold $3,100. Before that it was at $23. And what's crazy is this was on the same day, both on October 13th. We would have another one at $23.75. All sold from Probstein, all on October 13th. So that's quite the jump. So maybe this one was a lot mintier than these ones, but I have no idea. That's kind of crazy. But all right, that was today's Pokemon Throwback Thursday, where we covered Groudon, Kyogre, and XY Roaring Skies. Let me know down below who you guys want to see next. I've honestly been having a blast trying to figure out, you know, which Pokemon. And like I said, Groudon and Kyogre really didn't have that many cards. That's why I did them both in one video. So if I do a Pokemon that isn't super popular, like I'll do their whole evolution line or maybe a couple other Pokemon too. So just keep giving me ideas down below. And I also have to mention that I am dropping some merch next Monday, so definitely keep your eye out for that. I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of Pokemon clothes and stuff, so I felt like this merch was the perfect in-between. And in my opinion, it's the coolest merch in the entire hobby right now. So definitely keep your eye out for that on Monday. And then, like I said before, if you guys are going to grade through PSA for your first time, make sure you click my link in the description and then use the code BEARD25 to get $25 off, you know, your very first submission. That's basically a free card submitted. And then too, if you guys like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, you guys can check out my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube membership. Is only 99 cents a month. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you guys want to watch my last What If Wednesday, which was a crazy one, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.